Hi, my name is Rolando Diaz. I'm the owner of Marna's Eatery and Lounge in Robbinsdale, Minnesota. We are a Latin American restaurant with a lot of Costa Rican influences. All my childhood was in Costa Rica. My grandpa had a couple of restaurants. My uncles, my mom, everybody grew up in the food industry. Everything that we have in our menu has a lot of Caribbean roots. From the time that I lived in the Limon, you will find a ceviche everywhere in all our menus in Costa Rica. It's always made with citrus, but then we have a different kind of lime in Costa Rica, which is like a mandarin lime. Ceviche caribeño. I made a regular ceviche. So we added actually a coconut habanero milk added to the citrus mix. Mahi, peppers, onions, cilantro, cherry tomatoes. We add a little bit of tortilla strings on top of it to add a little bit of a crunch. And one of the good things about Costa Rica has 19 microclimates that happen in one day. Everywhere you are in Costa Rica, you will hear birds. I do a lot of hiking in Costa Rica, so I've been into like some mountains and I've climbed some volcanoes. If you look high enough, I've seen toucans that just flying from tree to tree, and all of a sudden you see a tree that's full of monkeys. It's pretty cool, the diversity of the animals you see around. Plantains everywhere. I feel like plantain is something that is in every single dish. Going to the gallo pinto, their popular breakfast. The mixture of rice and beans. The rice and beans obviously are cooked separate. Always we use the rice from the day before to make the gallo pinto because it's the texture that you'll have. Always has like garlic, onion, pepper, cilantro, and lisano sauce. Lisano sauce is a sauce that you will find in Costa Rica. Like a steak sauce per se, with a little more vinegary, more acidity to it. You usually saute the garlic, the onions, the cilantro, and then you add the beans, saute those up, add a lisano, some rice. The sweet plantains is a must to have. We wait until they almost start to turn black. You peel that and you fry it and it's like candy. And then we also add crema. It's like a harmony of flavors. I met my best friend down in Costa Rica. He went there to learn Spanish. He came back to Minnesota and then he said, hey Rolando, you should come to Minnesota. I remember my first job was an all-country buffet. Started a catering company and eventually we bought a food truck. That's what we started to actually do in some of our Costa Rican food. I remember like Googling stuff and like trying to research. It was like Costa Rican food or Latin food and it was nothing. Costa Rica, it's very known for soup. The one that we made here, it's a calamariscada. The stock itself is where all the flavor is, and that's how I remember my grandpa actually making soups. Lobster bodies, crab, salmon heads, coconut, carrots, celery, tomatoes, habaneros. And we cooked that in a huge stock pot for about 8 hours. Then we add some potatoes, sweet plantains, mussels, mahi, shrimp. It's one of those dishes that we will eat in the middle of the summer at the beach at 100 degrees. We will still sit at a bar somewhere, have a beer, have a soup. Plátano maduro, sweet plantains. You will see a lot of plantain in our dishes, either when there's green or when it's yellow. In this case, we took them with their ripe again, fried with black puree beans, some cotija cheese on top, and then we add a little bit of a chipotle crema sauce for a little bit of heat. Marna, it's my mother's name. So she passed away in 2010. That was more like the actually turning point for me, that I wanted to utilize her name and the situation to do something beautiful. Remember the things that she did, remember the food that she cooked, the cornbread. We've had it since the very beginning. I remember asking her in an email when we had like we had like Hotmail, and I was like, hey, what is the recipe for that cornbread? And she just emailed it to me. We actually used corn. We take the corn off the cob, we puree that. We add sweet condensed milk into the mixture, so it's always gonna have like a dense kind of a wet texture. Flour, eggs, and then we put it in a round mold, bake it for like about maybe 40 minutes. And then we put it with a little bit of honey butter on top. I mean, my mom made it. I mean, whenever she had the time, she would make it that way. People eat that as a dessert or they eat it as an appetizer. We have also a cocktail here that's called Blue Zone. And that was inspired also because Costa Rica has one of the 5 blue zones of the world. Blue zones is just known for people to live the longest and happiest. The mentality is, and how I actually extend the life, obviously what you put in your stomach and what you put in your mind also has to do something with this. And the arroz con huevo. We eat rice with something every day. I remember eating rice with scrambled eggs is one of the best things that my mom made. In this case, taking some of those roots when I lived in the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, the rice with the coconut habanero cream. So it kind of gives it like a very creamy texture. And then we made some really creamy eggs. Then we did a layer of guacamole and then we did a layer of pico de gallo. Coconutty with a little bit of heat from the habanero, rich from the creamy eggs, and then obviously the creaminess and like the richness from guacamole, and just a little bit of citrusy and crunch from the pico de gallo. Pura Vida in Costa Rica, it's the same everybody will say. We say, hey, how are you doing? Pura Vida. Hey, all right, bye, Pura Vida. Pura Vida is pure life, and we live by that a lot. People are always happy. It's almost contagious. Every person that I remember, they've been to Costa Rica, they're like, man, it's just the people. I fell in love with the people. They're always so happy. They're so welcoming. They're so kind. What I make a dish. I remember sometimes like certain moments moments in growing up in Costa Rica, or certain areas that I was in Costa Rica, and maybe I remember a certain region, and I remember like how it makes me feel when I eat it. Like I kind of get like a ticklish, you know, like it's like a butterfly. It brings me to a certain different level of happiness.